Secretary of State and like the state of Georgia report and all that about all your notations and stuff. How do you go about that?
Well, first you have to have it notarized. Your document, the first document is notarized.
So you go to the Secretary of State first to get the papers or paperwork?
No. Notarize your first document through a notary public.
Okay.
Then you send it off to your State Department and ask for an apostille, or I call it apostille. The apostille represents the highest authentication of the land. It is then your document then becomes an international document.
Right. So you just write down anything like this is you, this is me, and just go.
What are you trying to do? You trying to be all secretive? Let me just give you an example of what I did.
I'm not being secretive.
Let me tell you what I did.
Okay.
I wrote an affidavit of clarification of citizenship. All right? That document told you who I am and who I am not. According to this law, this case, here it is. You can't refute it. And I'm telling you it is. I'm not asking for any, you understand, in a general sense. Notarize it. Go to your bank or whatever, notarize it. Once they notarize it, I wrote a letter saying, let's say for example, I'm getting ready to travel to Africa and look up my ancestors. Can you please authenticate this document? They don't even know what, ain't nothing in prison. Boom, there it is. First they send you something else. They try to do something else. I said, this ain't what first of all, this ain't what I paid for. Secondly, it's wrong. So I send it back and they send me the apostille. So what you do after that is take your apostille, take it down to your clerk of court, and file it for the record. The bottom line is you want it published. That's why it's important for us to have our newspaper. So that way your fees or whatever will go to the thing, and all you need to do is just have it published. And then it's in the public domain and for the record.
Like a legal notice?
Yes, exactly like a legal notice. They have papers like that in Jacksonville. They have something called a daily recorder, when you find the foreclosures, the whole nine, everything that's coming up, fees, auctions coming up. All right, that's it. Thank you. It's not more government. That puts all of those things, puts you under the jurisdiction of the government. Do you understand that? Okay. Under the 14th Amendment, all persons born, naturalized in the United States, and subject to the jurisdiction, therefore, are citizens of the United States. This is what this is saying. This is what the definition of citizen is.
I was just going to say, I don't know if everybody understands, and I don't know if you can explain to why they actually came up with citizen in a way. I don't know if everybody understands that. Or why they even came up with the term citizen.
What does that mean?
Well, I don't know if anybody, well, basically, if you go back to the whole process of, and we talked about this before, when you go back to the 13 colonies, you got to remember when you look at just job applications, whatever the case may be, you have Afro-American, American Indian, Mexican American, and you have white. Now, the trick to that is that whites fall under a bunch of different categories. Italian whites, Jewish whites, there are a bunch of them. So basically, the term citizen basically covered them all, meaning that they came from different places, but this was their name as part of the United States of America, not the United States. So understand that citizens just meant that you were not a person from here. You were a person from another country, another, I want to say, culture, whatever the case may be, but you were a free person in a way.
Jurisdiction.
Right. So like he was saying, when they got here, there were free people here already, who were black, who were already living here. So that's why they came up with that terminology too, to distinguish them from this new America that they were making. So that's why they capitalized C, because if you remember, your name is always capitalized. So they capitalized the C because it stands for a person. So it didn't matter what race you are, and that's why they came up with the whole citizen concept. So.
All right. Thank you. Military occupation. Constitution grants powers Congress under the Civil War amendments Now, what you're dealing with when you're dealing with the 13th, the 14th, 15th Amendment, dealing with something called Sinai Day. That is defined as, without a date, without assigning another date for the further meeting and hearing hence the legislative body adjourns. Sinai Day. When it adjourns without appointing a day on which it appears to reassemble. That means we did not, on these particular things, agree and pass on. Matter of fact, we're going to lunch. And they ain't never come back. But somebody took them and said, hey, well, they going to lunch, y'all go ahead on and pass them and amend them and make them law. This is what happened. These 13, 14, 15 amendments. tthe form which refers to bonds and legal issues to raise money to fight civil wars. And some on honest aid. President Lincoln knew that he had the authority to issue an executive order